Hey everyone, welcome to the Other Side of Addiction podcast. This episode is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, Matter Behavioral Health in Mount Pleasant. These guys are just a phenomenal place. If you guys are looking for a different type of rehab, recovery center, please reach out to us so we can get you their information. They're just great people. Hey, gosh, we've got couple people here in the studio with us. We got Andrea. Thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate it. We got Melody. Thank you for jumping in. And I just want to also say, Melody, thank you for jumping in, about a week or so ago when I was in Yuma because my father was passing. So thank you so much. We've got a very special guest today. We got Kenny Ingersoll. Kenny, thank you for taking time out of your morning to spend with us.
Thanks for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. And he's been sitting here very patiently while the girls have been talking, and I think they've been making fun of us, really, and we just didn't know it. So this episode really is not a lot about addiction. We like to mix our shows up, as you guys know, the ones that are really following us. So, Kenny, just a little bit about Kenny. I got to get closer to my computer so I can read it. Kenny Ingersoll is an entrepreneur, business owner, financial professional, speaker, author, and mentor. His passion is helping and serving others. He loves helping others get a jump start on life and reduce some of the "if I'd only known at your age what I know now." And I've said that quite a bit myself. So, Kenny, are you originally here from Salt Lake?
Born and raised.
Born and raised?
About 10 minutes away from here.
Oh, really? So here in Murray?
Glendale, actually, so maybe 15, but...
Okay, all right. Wow. So what got you to be an entrepreneur? Did you do something else? I mean, like the financial type stuff before becoming an entrepreneur?
No, I was raised with kind of the entrepreneur... blood in my veins, if you will, because my parents ran businesses off and on and things like that, and so I always knew that's where I wanted. I had that bug at a very young age.
Okay.
It just took me 30 years to figure out where that would align with who I am and the course I wanted to take it, because I've done several businesses and whatnot, and it worked, and I loved it, and I won't trade it for a minute because of the relationships and experiences that I've had. But it wasn't aligned with who I am and where I was going, so that's what led me here.
That's really cool that you figured that out, because it took me till I was in, mid-40s before I realized. I mean, if I would have known, and I was brought up the old-fashioned way like a lot of us. You get a high school education, you go to college. If you don't go to college, you get a job, you stay there, work your way up till you retire. Well, it's all great, but if I would have known all the other opportunities that were out there, I mean, out of high school, growing up in West Jordan, if I would have known about how much money real estate was actually worth, I would have been saving up and buying as much property out in West Jordan that I could possibly purchase. A lot of the young kids nowadays, I've got some friends who are in their mid-20s, and they're millionaires. And I'm thinking, man, here I am approaching 60. I barely make a living, and these guys are millionaires, and it's because they widen their vision. They didn't want to be stuck at a 9-to-5 job. So that's pretty cool that you did that and found out fairly early, that you had something else that you wanted to do.
So thank you. Yeah. It's of course I wish I'd have known and right out of high school for me and stuff, and opened my eyes, because I also had that normal background, get a good job and stuff. But I wish I'd have known 30 years ago, 20 years ago, the opportunities and how easy it was to be involved in some of those opportunities.
Yeah.
And how little it required to start, or at least get started in some of those opportunities.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it takes us a good amount of time to figure out what our why is. When I read the book, What's Your Why, I thought that was pretty cool. When I lost my job of 24 years coming up on, since 2009, I've been trying to figure out my why this whole time. And then when my wife was going through the depths of her addiction, now I look back and I'm going, this is why I had to go through everything that I just went through, because this is my why. I mean, coming in the studio, I could live here every single day. I love coming in the studio. I'm surrounded by lovely ladies all the time. Starting to feel like George Burns, you know. I always had these gorgeous women around him. I just need to get a cigar now, right? But, you know, and then have incredible guests that come on the show, you know, to tell their stories. And a lot of the people that we've had on our show that have battled addictions, you see where their life is at now, you know, and they've really opened it up. And somebody like yourself, who is an author and you love helping other people, I mean, when did you realize that you loved helping other people?
It really dawned on me about 5 years ago when I first, 7 years ago when I first started in the financial services. And when I'd help my clients and see that sigh of relief, that realization that there is light at the end of the tunnel, it's like, that's it right there. Helping others.
Yeah, the feel good that you get afterwards. Yeah. I started doing a lot of volunteer work after I lost my job. And I mean, it took me probably about a year or a couple of years before I actually started doing that. And I started falling in love with it really, really quick. It's like, man, this is pretty cool. Now, the old me, if you were my best friend and you called me up and said, hey, I'm moving this weekend, I could use your help, I'd say, nah, I'm busy flipping through the TV channels. Now you call me up and it's just because who I've changed to be and want to be. Now it's like, yeah, what time you need me there, you know? So I think it's really cool to get out there and help as many people as possible, because it's really feel good inside. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, if you would.
So yeah, born and raised, you know, right here in Salt Lake. Married 10 years, 8-year-old boy, and you know, he's my driving factor. He's one that I'm like, oh crap, someone else is watching me now. I really got to step up. You know, it's not just me anymore. You know, when I got married, it was like that. But then when I had a son, I was like, he's watching my every single move.
Yeah.
I got to do something right.
You know, you got to be an example now.
Yeah. I'm always an example. Just what example do I want him to see me be?
Exactly.
Because there's many examples out there, and I'm like, no, not so much. I don't want that one there.
I found that by me living in the example that I want to set out, it was the best way. You know, so I had to transform myself first so that I could be that good example for other people, that they also too can transform themselves. So that's a lot of why you're here today, right? Because you, as an entrepreneur, you saw obviously that was the way to be an entrepreneur, and helping other people was the perfect example. And what brings you joy.
Absolutely, and I get so much growth out of it, you know, in a little bit of a selfish way, if you want to look at it that way. You're getting more out of it, like the teacher learns more than the student kind of thing. You know, and it's like what's the word? It's like a dopamine hit I've used before, you know. You just want that next step and that next growth and that next accomplishment in a positive light.
Did you actually set goals, like, and then work on them one at a time, or like how did you do this?
Years ago, I would set goals and, you know, kind of the New Year's Eve resolutions, all that fun stuff, but I didn't really know how to go after them properly, or I wasn't ready for them to happen. You know, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't at that step. But I've been taking some mentorship as well. You know, that's eating a piece of that humble pie and saying, okay, I need help.
It all begins there, right? Knowing that we need help.
Yeah.
That's where it begins.
Yeah. Big piece of humble pie in that respect. But and then they were able to show me how to, but also show me how to, if that makes sense. You know, I've got the steps, but I didn't understand what they meant, or I wasn't ready to take them, or didn't know how to fully apply them or get as much from them. But now going through that more deeper thing and being ready to having those experiences that transformed me and made me ready to accept those and apply those and kind of take a leap of faith.
So you allowed yourself to take the steps that you needed to grow and transform.
Exactly.
Yes. Very nice.
Exactly.
I think the more of us would do that, but what holds us back is the fear. You know, I mean, I know I have friends that I don't really keep in contact much anymore, but if I run into them, they're still at a job that they can't stand. They're like, every day I walk in here and it's like walking on eggshells. But they've been there so long, it's that fear of taking that next step to do something different with their life, you know. And I think that's also what happens in the addiction part of things, where we've had a lot of our guests come in and say, you know, it was the fear of, what will my life be like if I'm not using, because I'm so used to living my life using. So that fear factor, I think, holds us back. And you said it. I mean, I wish I would have known now. How was it? I wish I would have known now what I don't, or
didn't know back then.
Yeah, that I knew back then. Thank you.
Yeah.
But but it's all part of that learning process as well. You know, we've got to go through what we go through to get us to this new step in life.
Sometimes life has a way of pushing you there faster.
Good point. Yeah.
That
You know,
is
we have
so
that
true.
fear,
Yeah.
but so you avoid it, but life has its lessons.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it does put you into different situations where you've got to paddle and get up there and learn.
We learn
Yeah.
through it, and where we're put in those positions where we have no choice now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We didn't have a choice but to learn what we needed to learn to push us forward. That was a great thing to bring.
It's kind of kicks you off the ledge.
And you're just like, go. If you're not going to do it, I'm going to make you.
Hey, I've heard of people.
Fly!
I've heard of people learning how to swim
Get your
that
hands.
way. You know, my wife's Janan's dad basically did that. She has a fear of water.
Because he
They
just
they put her on a bridge and he just
that's what my dad did with
tossed her
my
off and
sister on
said,
the
"Swim."
ski. She broke her
Bless the
leg. There you go, child.
yeah, just go.
Not the bunny
Look
hill.
downhill.
Last time my mom sent my daughter
That's how I
skiing, or
learned.
any of her
Go
kids
downhill.
skiing with my dad.
That's
One big broken
crazy.
leg, yeah.
So Kitty, what kind of knowledge do you share with others?
It's very specific, but just one of the a lot of people ask me, like, what's a quick thing or whatever. Just open-mindedness is huge. You know, open-mindedness to that suggestion. If you would ask me a question 10 years ago, like you gave the example, my answer would have been completely different.
Yeah.
You know, my comfort zone would have kept me there. You know, I would have totally rejected that idea or that suggestion. So that goes back to having those experiences that makes you ready for that, because otherwise you wouldn't be ready for it and it wouldn't do you any good anyways.
It's like having kids.
Yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
though?
Yeah.
So it's
Never
like
ready.
You
It
so you
happens.
felt the fear and then just did it anyway.
So felt the fear, knew I had to do something different, and finally drew the line. I'm like, okay, now it's time. I've been saying that for 10 years, but now it's the...
It's like, because we know we're taking a big risk. It's a big step.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It brings that fear. But if we never do, we'll never really know, right? That's
Yep.
why I did what I did. I'm happy being an entrepreneur, and I love helping people change their lives.
Yeah.
Melody's light in the darkness.
And
Help people see what they couldn't see before.
yeah. Well, and a lot of times we all live in the dark somewhere.
Oh, we do.
You know, we gotta
Absolutely.
turn that light on. And as I've been working on myself the past 14 years or so, that's one thing that I really started catching on really quick, that if you have a fear of it, that's your signal that you better do it.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
you,
like
you
that.
need
I
you need to
do.
do it, because
Just gave me
If-
anxiety. I gotta face it.
if it's holding
I'm
you
here
back,
for you. You could do.
and Kenny, you could probably elaborate on this. So just because you're sharing your knowledge in that, when if something you want to do and you have that fear of not doing it, you could be keeping yourself away of helping somebody that needs help. right? Or even empowering yourself even more. I mean, I look at fear as the opposition. It's the opposition saying, you don't want to do this. I mean, I thought of that starting this podcast. I was scared to death, you know. I'm thinking, I don't know, can I really do this? Can I really do it? When I started getting up and started talking about my story, I'm like, can I really get up and do this? But what I just said, I felt that fear, and I'm like, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do.
You know, when I saw you doing podcasts and doing this, I was like, hell, yes.
Yeah, who would have known, huh?
No, I always saw it in you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, when we met in the mentorship, oh no, you are a born leader. And
well,
I
thank
knew
you.
it.
Are you trying to make me cry on the show?
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay.
I've cried many times.
No, but
We got
really.
a box of
And
tissues.
So when
remember.
you started this up, I was like, oh my gosh, Al, you did it. You found your place.
Yeah.
And you're doing it. You got the courage. You're feeling the fear, and you're doing it anyway. And you know what? It encouraged me. Believe it or not. It
Oh,
did.
wow.
I was like, okay, well, we both know we can feel the fear and do it anyway. So what did I do? I was doing my speeches. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to care what anybody thinks or feels. This is all about what I know I can help other people with.
Yeah.
I have faith and trust and know the information that I hold and that I have can help people. I know this, and no one can tell me different. Just like you know that you know about the other side of addiction. You know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it, you've experienced it in your life. You know. Just like what Andrea does, just what Kenny does. It's because we know we're good at it. So we do it. We feel the fear, we do it anyway, and anybody can do it.
Oh yeah. How many people? Being an entrepreneur, my dad was one of them. He didn't agree with my life path. He thought I should have went out and found another 9-to-5 job after I lost it. Have you had people tell you that you're crazy as well? I mean,
Oh yes.
saying you shouldn't do
have.
this and it's never gonna mount up to anything. I've already had people talk about the podcast, going, you know, where do you want to take it? And I start telling them where we really want to take this podcast, and they're like, nah, you know, you'll never get there. You just do it for a hobby. And I'm like, no, this is, and I'm like, you know, they always said that no one could run a mile under 4 minutes. Well, someone finally ran a mile under 4 minutes, and now there's hundreds of people running a mile under 4 minutes. Why the hell should I listen to you and not go after what I want to go after?
Yeah.
You know, people said you couldn't climb Mount Everest. Well, they've climbed. I mean, hell, they got a line of people that want to climb Mount Everest now. You know, so have you found that in your?
Oh, all
Yes.
the time, every day, and it's still coming from the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, who are you to da 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 da? Who do you think you are to do your podcast? Who do you think you are to be a mentor, or whatever it is? You know, there's so many people, and you're your biggest critic and advocate.
Amen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
So yeah, when I first started my show, I was scared to death. I'm like, crap, a microphone and a camera, people are gonna see me, you know. But and then as I got going, people started approaching me like, well, how many followers do you have? How many likes do you have? Do you need help with that? I'm like, I'm not concerned about that, because the messages shared on my podcast will land on the right ears.
Yeah.
5 days from now, 10 years from now, you know. So that's my thing for the podcast, and so I'm not trying to push for likes or views or anything like that specifically, but there's a lot of people like, you'll never get there, you know, just might as well quit. And sometimes I tell myself, I'm like, why do I even bother?
You know, and I like what you just said, Kenny. You said that the message will fall on the right ears. And the reason why I like that so much is we've had guests on the show that have called after their show has aired, and a family member has heard the show and go, how dare you? How dare you say that? Now, they've not ever mentioned any names. They just told a story. But the people on the other end know who they're talking about. One of them in particular, and I won't say which one it was, but when she called and told me, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, they did not hear your message. because your message was so, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps. It was so incredible. And the reason why they wasn't hearing the message is because they were going, oh, that's me they're talking about.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So they didn't hear how powerful this message really was. So I like that you said that
Yeah.
you know, it'll fall on the right ears.
The truth pierces the heart. It does. When people know.
Like with earrings and stuff like that, or just everybody's getting piercings nowadays.
I know. I was thinking of getting another one, actually.
No.
Live on studio.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean by that, so, you know, when you were talking about, you know, these people on the other end, they were hearing, and they're like, they're talking about me.
Yeah.
Because it really opened their eyes to who they really are.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So it pierces the heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I-
like a.
I know you got something
Do
to
a
say,
dagger.
Andrea. You're over there
I
just
know,
a
it's like,
smiling.
say it.
I can see it in your eyes. It's like your brain's
You
spinning.
guys are
here.
just so entertaining. I just love it. I'm just soaking it all in. I'm like, yeah.
Because we can feel your energy.
Yeah, that's it.
That is true. And no, and the thing is, nobody ever wants to face the mirror. They don't want to look at that. So when they are listening to something, they're like, they're talking about me. You see it in
Yeah.
a different perspective. It's like looking in that mirror and other people's story and how they present it, and you're like kind of an outer body. You're like watching what people think, and it's like
Yeah.
kind of one of those things like, oh gosh, maybe there are some things I ought to change and do and look at that.
You know, I like when names aren't mentioned because, you know, and I don't mention names either when I, you know, talk about my stories, because love protects. Even if those people wronged us, love protects no matter what, and we're to love no matter what, because we set that example.
I think so. You would also wouldn't want
I mean-
somebody saying, "Hey, Andrea did this."
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I know, I
you
wouldn't
don't want
want
your
it.
name out there.
Well, I
You know?
definitely know she did because I know a lot of secrets. But I don't share.
We're in our nest.
Yeah,
Al.
we're in our nest, yeah. It's like my friend Melanie says all the time before she gets ready to tell me something personal. She goes, pinky swear. So we do a pinky swear, and then she tells me what's going on. But she knows it's never going to go past my pinky. So, yeah. So, did you have a fear, Kenny, of, oh my gosh, what was I just thinking, of judgment? The people were going to judge you because of which direction you were wanting to take your life?
All the time. Again, most of it comes from me too still.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's, what are they going to think? What if it doesn't work out? You know, I've done this and this and this, and they didn't end up working out. What if this is another one? What if, on and on and on and on. You know, what are they going to say when I can't do this, or when I can't fulfill this promise, or things like that? And so, you know, just all the time, that little voice on your ear, or
Back of the
devil
head.
on your shoulder,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, another thing I find with people judging people is that the reason why a lot of people do that is it comes from a place of envy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the envy and the jealousy. And so it can cause a person to judge another. But instead of people judging another person because they're envious of them, they just need to see their gifts and what they bring to the table, because everybody's different. Everybody has a different place in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, when it comes to, you know, people judging people because they might look at you and go, oh, well, you think you're better than I am. But really, when you do the psychology behind it, it's really just coming from a place of envy. You know?
I got a really good one. So when I walked into the studio this morning, I met this beautiful young lady out there that's doing the Christmas box stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And her name's Celise, and we get talking. And she says she has this saying that she uses all the time. And I hope I'm saying it right, because I came in and I started getting busy. But she goes, I tell people, don't judge my sins because your sins are different than mine.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
true.
oh my gosh, that is so powerful.
I like it.
You know, I mean, because we're so busy. I think society nowadays, we're so busy judging other people. You know, how dare you say that? How dare you become a Democrat? How dare you become a Republican? How dare you go out and do this? Well, why not? You know, I mean, why not speak your mind? And I think people are taking stuff way, way too personal anymore, instead of letting that person be who they be. Who they be. Well, you know, do you know? There's Steve Hardison. You know, it's always the being you, and it's capital B, capital E, and then lowercase ing. You know, it's being you. And I think if more of us are being us and not worrying about what our next door neighbor thinks, you know, and doing all the stuff that you're doing, Kenny. I mean, you figured something out, and you're like, I'm going to go for it. I mean, like you said with your little boy, 8 years old, right? You said 8 years old. You're the example, you know, and if you start teaching him, hey, you go after whatever the hell it is that you want to go after. Uh-oh, somebody's phone's gone off. That was our intermission. Did you see little popcorn guy and stuff going and nachos? But yeah, anyway, I think this is really a good time for a quick commercial break. So guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Have you ever been in a car accident? Do you know what to do after being in a car accident? Are the insurance companies going to take care of you? Hi, I'm attorney Rick Heaton with the Law Office of Bobby Udall. I will help you through the process and answer all of these questions. I give every single client my cell phone so they can talk to me whenever they need. Let me deal with the insurance company so you can focus on getting better from your injuries. Call me at 385-330-0226. Again, my cell phone number, 385-330-0226. Don't call the insurance company first. Call attorney Rick Heaton at 385-330-0226.
This is Gregory, owner of Lift Up Concrete, proudly serving the Wasatch Front for the last 12 years, lifting sunken flatwork for both residential and commercial applications. Only fully trained professionals lifting concrete at your residence with the same quality of material and method used at every commercial job we ever do. Don't replace it, lift it. liftupconcrete.net, 801-792-4535. Contact us at liftupconcrete.net, or if you're looking for a complimentary quote, 801-792-4535. Again, 801-792-4535. Again, this is Gregory, Lift Up Concrete Lifting.
Hello, my friends. This is Brad Neufeld, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Resilience Talk Network. You can listen to my show, Resilience, every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. On my show, we will be discussing what it takes for you to overcome the day-to-day challenges that all of us face in life, as well as some of the devastating ones that may lead us to feelings of hopelessness and despair. It's my goal to provide you with the tools and skills that you need to overcome anything that is thrown your way. To find out more about my show, visit our website at www.resiliencetalk.com. That's www.resiliencetalk.com. And as always, until we meet again, go for everything that you want in life and make it happen.
Hey everyone, welcome to the second half of The Other Side of Addiction. Again, we want to thank our platinum sponsor, Matter Behavioral Health in Mount Pleasant. Gosh, I got to swallow there. Hey, if you guys have a loved one that's battling addiction, please contact us if you're interested in learning more about behavior or Matter. Great place to go. The people there are phenomenal, and all their staff, pretty much like most recovery centers, all their staff has also battled addiction. So they know what the people that are what they're going through when they come through. Kenny, gosh, you shared some pretty good stuff here the first half. For the second half of the show, I'd like to talk about some aha moments. Was there just a time in your life where kind of like that light bulb went off? And
So, yeah, for me, one of the biggest things is when I finally, like we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is allowed myself to move forward, and accepting the ideas and stuff. And, I've heard this stuff for years and years and years, and I've listened to, oh, that's nice, pretty bow on the president, whatever. But I didn't fully allow myself to engage with it and dive deep into it and understand it. And then once I finally did, and the second part of that is stopped caring what others think. There's very, very few people that I care about their opinions anymore. So that was very freeing. But then once I did that, then I looked at this stuff again. I'm like, oh, then I got a little bit more. Then I go back to this and a little bit more. Another light bulb. And I understood more and more and more. There's a chain reaction.
yeah, got the domino, like the snowball, starting out small and rolling it down the hill.
Exactly.
Yeah. Andrea, what has been like your aha moments? Do you have any to share?
My aha moments in growth, or just
Yeah, and growth, or just whatever your aha moment was.
Well, we were just talking about art.
Yeah.
And I think that was an aha moment because my family, they're all very artistic, and I guess when I did, and it was just more for my house, I guess the aha moment when all of a sudden people start seeing my work and recognizing it and wanting it. And I'm just like, oh, aha. My whole family was like, aha, where'd this happen? Where'd this come from? So it's out of my comfort zone, doing something different, and to see that I'm fully capable of doing it. I have a way to go. I'd like to take some classes and learn new things, but just knowing that I untapped something that was in there that, you do permanent cosmetics on people's face, and that was my art. But then this opens up, and I'm just like, aha.
I don't even
fun.
feel like you
Yeah.
even need a class. I mean, your art is so good.
She does need a class, because the ones that she does still have the numbers.
Oh,
No. I'm kidding. No.
Al, you're in trouble after this. You know that, right?
This is the last time she's going to be on the
secret's
show.
out. Damn.
I don't know why they sit on opposite ends of the table.
No, her paintings, guys, are really. I mean, they're awesome.
They're
If you get on
amazing,
her Facebook page, you'll see some. Because I mean, truly, yeah, they're.
Thanks.
I would have to agree with Melody that.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna buy
they're just
one.
awesome. They're awesome. Yeah.
It's just like, cooking. Nothing ever turns out the same, so they're all unique in their own way, and they're commissioned, so it's the colors you want, whatever. I just have my taste to it,
Yeah.
my little thing to it, my flair.
I like that. Melody, how about yourself?
Well, I've always been a person that people would come to for advice. Or I just found myself in conversations with people, just random places. And we'd get talking, and then when our conversation was in, they'd be like, "Well, thanks. You just helped me solve my problem." That was an aha moment right there.
That you had a gift.
Because that one conversation, I mean, I'd have them with many people randomly, different places. I traveled to Idaho, I'd go here, I'd go there. And just wherever I was, sitting in the hot tub, sitting at the bar at Applebee's, just wherever
Applebee's
I was.
has a hot tub with a bar?
No. What? No,
Which
that's
one
a
are you
different
going
place.
to?
No,
Oh, okay.
I was in Idaho one time, and I was sitting in a hot tub, and I ended up in like 2-hour conversation with someone. And then there was another time I was at Applebee's, and I was sitting up at the bar and ran into someone else. He had a drinking problem, actually, and we were talking about it.
Wow.
And I was helping him to realize that he can change himself.
Were you taking his drink
And-
away from him as you're talking to him?
No,
Slipping a glass
but
of
the
water.
funny thing
It's
is,
fine.
he wasn't really finding much interest in it after like probably an hour into our conversation, because I don't know, I'd get in these couple hours, 2-3 hour conversations with people just randomly. But but one time when someone said that, you just helped me solve my problem. And even though people had said things along those lines to me, it was that one moment I had an aha. I went, oh my gosh, I'm a teacher. I'm a
There you
guide.
go. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I carry something that is very special and valuable that
I
can
love
really
it.
help a lot of people. So that's why I chose to do Melodies Light in the Darkness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. Do you get, Janan and I, we have this phrase, and it's called ask holes. Ask holes.
Assholes.
And it's people who ask for your advice and they don't follow it. That's an ask hole.
It just gets
do you get,
down the
Oh,
hole,
yeah.
the abyss, it's gone.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I've had people come to me later and say, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, did you take my advice? And they're like, no, but I wish I had now.
yeah.
You know, and I'm like, well, okay, you learned the hard way.
There's
But
still hope.
a lot of things that I learned, though, I learned the hard way. When Andrew was talking about being pushed, I have literally been pushed I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. And very painful falls.
Yeah.
Well, and Kenny brought it up earlier too, you know, about we're our own worst critics and pushing ourselves, you know. I've shared this on a couple shows, but I took a class that Curtis Swenson did. And at the end of the class, he gave us these 7 or 8 affirmations, and our homework was to go home and look in the mirror and say these affirmations, you know, memorize them. And I've been doing affirmations and stuff for years. I thought, a piece of cake, man. This is definitely homework I like because I already know how to do it. Well, I started doing it, and I don't know how many times it took, but I finally started realizing every time I said it, I looked away. I wasn't looking at myself in the mirror, like you were saying earlier.
Oh, wow.
Once I realized that, I went, I'm not as confident as I thought I was. And it took just that little teeny class to, you know, and it took me some time to where, you know, you'd look at yourself and go, I am, and I'm not saying this is what I said to myself, I'm just, this is the first thing that pops in my head, but I am amazing. I am
good
beautiful.
Enough and smart
I am good enough.
And doggone it,
Yeah.
people like
Yeah,
me.
and I still found myself still as I'm going, I am, and then I'd look away, and then I'd come back. I am, then I'd look away, and then I'd come back.
So that was like an
So-
aha for you.
Yeah, it
Really?
it was an aha moment for me. I mean, it really was, because I felt so confident that I had gotten myself to that point with a lot of years and also reading and different things and going to classes that, I realized that I wasn't as good as I thought I was, you know.
Wow.
And, yeah.
We are our worst enemies.
We really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Years and years, I remember when people would give me a compliment or I just thought, oh, I don't want to seem like, and I was young. I remember this, just young, thinking, well, if I say thank you, that means I'm saying, yes, I accept that. And then I come across as arrogant. And so I would go the opposite, and years of negative self-talk. And I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I can't do this. I can't tell you. 35 plus years.
You were allowing yourself
and
to
it's sad
accept
'cause
it.
this is like you have to reprogram, and I'm a work in progress. Everyone is, you know.
Well, yeah,
But
it
I
never
think
ends.
47 and how many days?
And why do we do that?
16.
Why do we allow ourselves
gotta
to
get
not
there.
accept compliments? Like, and not,
It's
you know,
it's
why do
because it's hard. I mean, it really is. It's hard, and because I mean, all of us is sitting here and saying it's taken us umpteen years to get to where we're at, and we've all learned something. We've all had our aha moments, you know. And I'm done raising kids. I mean, we have our grandkids, which you want to be a good example for the grandkids and teach them things. But like with Kenny having an 8-year-old, I mean, I'm sure you're already working on your son to believe in himself and have pride in himself, because so many of us, it could just take one person saying something negative to us as a kid, to make us feel
And we
like
remember all that.
oh yeah
We do.
yeah you'll remember that, you know, someone told you don't ever sing again because your voice sucks. You know, and I heard a story.
My mom.
Yeah, I heard a story of something like that. So I think it's really cool that you've advanced yourself so far, and you started taking these steps to better yourself and go out and help others. So, you know, you can start teaching your son just to look at life differently.
Yeah, give him that different perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that right there will help him with his confidence. Yeah, giving him a different perspective, a different way to look at things. And, you know, people are always going to have something negative to say about you. They just are. I mean, they're going to have good things too. So all the negative things, just toss them aside. Well, unless you know.
I'd say be a duck. Let it roll off your back.
Roll it off your back, yeah. You
You know you have something to change, you know you have something to change. But
Yeah.
come on. I mean, you know if you're a good singer or not. You should. If you don't, well, now you know you're not. Just don't sing in public then,
I
unless
know.
you don't care.
Good karaoke.
Come
I
on.
know I'm a good singer, but only in the shower. So, Kenny, you were getting ready to say something.
No, yeah, it's perspective is huge. You know, we were talking about before the commercial break and stuff, and it made me think of so many others have, even with like the aha moment. You know, how often do we look at the aha and we're like, aha versus aha?
Yeah.
You know,
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
that accusingness versus, you know, the acceptance and the lesson that it can give us, you know. And also when it comes to other success, it took me a long time to, you know, go from, well, if I can't have it, no one should, you know, versus I'll have my turn, you know, let them have their turn. They worked for it, they did it, you know. One of my biggest aha moments is not comparing my chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20.
That's
Yeah.
hard to do, too.
It is.
Yeah.
That's really good, yeah.
But you know, too. Oh, go ahead, Ken.
Sorry, and I was gonna say, that's even for yourself. You know, you mentioned you grow up so often feeling like, no, I'm not that great or whatever. You know, like, that was me 25 years ago. That's different than who I am today. You know, let that be different. Let me be who I am today. You know, you don't want to be arrogant and stuff. And I think part of that is society saying, don't say that because it'll turn you into a snob, or you'll be arrogant and no one will like you. You know, that's society talking into our heads, not our own thinking. So just those little tweaks and those little aha moments make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
No, that was great. I'm glad that you shared that. That's, to me, that was very powerful. Yeah. Because, you know, a lot of our guests that's been on the show that have battled all types of addiction, they've had those aha moments too, and majority of them been very spiritual. You know, they had a little visit. Like, I like to share, you know, when my wife talked about that God came and saw her in jail when she was in jail the last time, and even when she told me I had a spiritual awakening, I'm like, yeah, I've heard you say this every single time you get out of jail. It never stopped
Right.
you. And again, the same thing happened to her. She got out of jail and she went right back to drinking. But she started looking back, and she remembers basically God telling her, this is your last shot. You have no more. You continue this, you're either going to be in prison or you'll be dead. And she knew she was going to be dead. And so did I. I was looking at death in her eyes, you know, the last time that she got really drunk. And yeah, just having those aha moments to wake you up. And so many of our guests have had that, where they just got that aha moment and just said, enough's enough, you know, and now they're out there helping other people.
She's proof that you can recover. I mean, yeah, it's always going to be there, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's always going to be
Yeah.
there, that temptation of picking up the drink or the drugs or whatever that addiction is.
Mm-hmm.
But look how far she has come.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a year now.
It'll be 15 months on the 9th of March.
Oh my gosh, a year and a half.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I knew it'd been at least a year. So, wow.
You know, and what's funny about it, even though it's been that long, I still have my triggers. I mean, seriously, it's going to take some time for me to get through those triggers, and just kind of going back with the aha moment that Kenny was talking about. It took me 7 years to figure out my aha moment when it came to her addiction. But if you go back and look at all the negative stuff that happened, which I think more of us need to do, you actually, if you really expand your vision, you start actually seeing the reason why. Because there's a lesson behind everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Take my time dating.
That's what I said.
Shoot.
But you know, it's like a healing. It's a healing process.
Yeah.
And then once you do have that aha moment of, you know, what your gift is that you can bring to the world, if you're going to make it into an entrepreneurship, then it's you learn to perfect it. You become better and better the more that you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
So you grow. You know, and you grow.
Or you, go ahead, Andrew. You had something.
I was just going to ask, how do you find your people you help?
Good question.
Yeah.
So it's very, very different ways. It's just conversation, you know, just having a conversation with no goal in mind, you know, and that took a while to get to that point, you know, because when you first start or whatever, when you're in business, you're grained in, okay, your goal is to make a sale or whatever, you know, but when you're just having a conversation, something will come up, and you know, like the artwork you guys were just talking about. I'm needing this for this. Oh, I know somebody that's perfect for that, or whatever, you know. And then doing the podcast that I do and being guests on shows like this, you know, expand and allow others to share their messages on different platforms and to different audiences. So it feeds back, you know. If Al helps me and I help you and you help him and the 10 other people, then it'll circle back to you.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you'll unexpected and better than you thought.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah. And I'm and again, this is just my own belief, but I believe that God starts placing these people in front of you. So a lot of the people that I've known at the gym, some of them, I don't know where they've gone. So I'm, you know, Andrew and I were like, what did your friend Gabby Abby's or something like that? But I was, so there was this guy that was working out next to me on Monday, and I started kind of teasing him about his workout. I'm like, you know, it's much easier if you get somebody else to do that for you and you get the results. And he starts laughing, and you know, the next day he comes in and I see him again, and I go up and introduce myself. I said, oh yeah, my name's Al and his name's Austin, and we get talking, and he goes, so what is it that you do? And I asked him that. He goes, oh, I'm just a forklift driver. What do you mean, just a forklift driver?
We need you.
Apparently, you're not just a forklift driver. And then he asked what I did, and I like that you brought up just the conversation. And I said, well, I'm a host of a podcast called The Other Side of Addiction. And I just watch his expression change. He's battled addiction. And I mean, I get goosebumps because that has happened so many flippin' times by just, like you said, just having a conversation, building relationships. You know, building the relationships to me, I think, is one of the most important things.
Chatty Cathy's.
Chatty Cathy's.
That's what it was.
It was spinning back there. I'm like,
Chatty Cathy's. So
we're Chatty Cathy's at the gym.
Yeah,
we do work out.
Yeah,
you catch me when I'm usually leaving, and I entertain you while you do cardio.
Yeah, she entertains me, and
tap dance and
So, what else is there that you got to share, Kenny, that our listeners would benefit from? There's got to be something else with all the things that you do. I mean, what's one more thing before we go to our last commercial break?
If it were like a quick 2-minute advice, whatever, it'd be, just start. Start with where you're at. Start with what you think you're passionate about. Go down that path. You know, you don't have to. When I started my podcast, I didn't have the microphones or the headphones or the this or the that or whatever, but I just started. And now it's evolved and it's grown, and I wouldn't trade it. So
That's good. Good advice.
And and you could have at that point said, well, I don't have all the equipment. It's just, I just can't. And let those little things stop you. And then kind of go, well, I just don't have the means for this or that right now. And then not do it. And then where would you be?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Those little voices. Sorry.
That's what I did. I even had to save money to be able to buy certain equipment.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
But I
it is
started,
okay.
I did exactly what you said. I just started with what I had. And there's so much truth to that. I mean, it's true. Just start with what you have.
One step.
Work your
One bite at
way
a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one step at a time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to stop for another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Good morning, this is Leticia with Computer Hospital. We are your computer repair experts for both PC and Mac. We are your community resource for all of your computer repair needs. What makes us different is that we want to fix your computer. We also do free diagnostics. We charge a flat rate labor, which means that you won't pay by the hour. All of our computer repair is done in-house with a fast turnaround time, and same-day service is also available. Feel free to stop by anytime without an appointment. We're located in Sandy at 8721 South State Street. Again, that's 8721 South State Street, or call us at 801-987-3993. Again, that's 801-987-3993. This is Leticia with Computer Hospital, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello there, this is Brad Neufeld with the Resilience Talk Network, and I would like to introduce to you Taffy Town, one of our newest sponsors. Let me introduce you to Derek.
Hi, I'm Derek from Taffy Town. We're proud sponsors of the Other Side of Addiction podcast. Taffy Town is a family-owned and operated business still operating in the Salt Lake City area for over 100 years. We manufacture some of America's best saltwater taffy.
What makes Taffy Town stand out from all of the others?
We have a unique recipe, a whipped-style recipe that incorporates egg whites, evaporated milk, real sea salt. It's a unique product that is flavorful, melts in your mouth, and the best part is we probably have a flavor for anyone's liking, a flavor for any reason, for any season. We have unique flavors like chicken and waffles, maple bacon, frosted cupcake. New this year was a pineapple ghost pepper flavor.
That's awesome. Where can people find out more about Taffy Town and all of its products?
You can check all of this stuff out. All of our products are available for sale on taffytown.com. We ship for free from our website, so all of our pricing on there is shipping included. Oftentimes we offer special promotions and discounts to our loyal customers, so do be sure to sign up for an account, and we look forward to seeing what we can do to make you smile with our taffy.
Where are you located?
We are currently located at 9813 South Prosperity Road in West Jordan, Utah, just at the foothills of the Copper Canyon mine.
Derek, taffy has always been a great gift to give. What are some of the creative ways Taffy Town can help say thank you to others?
Yeah, if you're looking for gift ideas, whether to say thank you to friends or family, or maybe to your clients after such a difficult or successful year that you've had, you could look no further than to get a gift idea from taffytown.com. We offer pre-packaged gift boxes that say that it's saltwater taffy from the city of the Great Salt Lake, and it tells a little bit about the history of our community and making candy for so long. You can also do customized gifts to pick out just the right flavors or colors of candy for that special someone, and deliver even a personalized message in that box to them. So please feel free to check out taffytown.com for any gift ideas this season.
Thank you so much, Derek. Please visit taffytown.com, that's taffytown.com, to find out more about the products and services that Taffy Town offers. You won't be disappointed.
Do you know someone who's gambling with death due to an addiction? Do you know someone whose life is being turned upside down due to a loved one that's battling with addiction? Hi, I'm Al Richards. I am the host of the Other Side of Addiction podcast. I started the podcast due to my wife's battle with alcohol. Let's just say I became addicted to her addiction. Our podcast is helping people understand a little more about those who have battled addiction and those who are hurting from their addiction. Through raw vulnerability, we share stories that help uncover the root causes of addiction. Shame felt on both sides, matter of the conscious and subconscious mind, continued beliefs, and often confusing paths of recovery. We collaborate with real people and their stories, as well as licensed professionals, to help our audience gain a better understanding of addiction. You can find us on Resilience Talk Network. You can also find us on Facebook at Mr. Al Richards. That's Facebook at Mr. Al Richards. You can also find us on YouTube. Just look up the Other Side of Addiction podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Other Side of Addiction. We are here with our special guest, Kenny Ingersoll, and again, this show is brought to you by Matter Behavioral and Health in Mount Pleasant. Kenny, great show, man. I'm glad that we finally got you on the show. You've reached out to me a while ago and said, hey, I'd like to get you on, and then some stuff came up and we couldn't get you on, and then you reached out again, followed up. So I'm really glad that we were able to get you here today. With all the stuff that you're doing, you're helping others, you're doing a podcast. If our listeners are interested in following you, how can they find you?
I'm all over social media. My website is ingersollenterprises.weebly.com. That's got everything else linked to it. So that'd probably be the most easiest direct way to get to me. You know, it's got social, email, phone number, all that's on there. So.
Okay. And usually I ask our guests to share something, but you just shared it at the end before our last commercial break. Is there one more thing maybe you have up your sleeve? And it better not be an ace. No.
Yeah, I think if you're not sure where to go or whatever, or need help with whatever, reach out. Reach out to whoever. Someone will help. Someone will know someone, or will have experience, or know how to get the experience, or how to get the answers.
Or here's your answer. Reach out to Kenny.
Yeah, reach out to Kenny, and don't
Kenny,
be afraid to ask.
Can I contact you?
All right, guys. Hey,
Your inbox is going to be full.
ladies, again, thank you for your time today. Thank you for
you.
taking time out of your morning to spend it with me and all of us here in the studio. And Kenny, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll have to make sure that I get on your podcast and check it out. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Hey guys, thank you to all our listeners. Again, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for you and all our many sponsors. I mean, we have Matter Behavioral as our platinum sponsor, and we are so grateful to them. Love everybody out there. Love all our listeners, all our other sponsors. We're going to leave you with this, as we do with every show. Remember, addiction is giving up everything for one thing. Recovery is giving up one thing for everything. We're out.